we'll get started as it has turned 4 o'clock and we've got loads that we want to show you. So we'll start with some quick introductions. To introduce myself, I am Daisy Clay and I work for Smartbox and I'm the head of the content development team. So that is the team of people who create all of the grid sets in Grid 3 and Grid for iPad. And I'm a speech and language therapist as well. And I will pass over to Richard to introduce himself.
Hello everyone. My name is Richard. I'm a speech therapist as well, and I work with the MND Association as part of their think tank, and that was how I met the great Evan. And I shall hand over to you.
Thank you. I'm Evan Schmidt. I'm a creative director at Area 23, predominantly in artwork, and I've really been obsessed with AI artwork since it really kind of came out. So excited to talk about this today.
Fantastic, thank you. So yeah, if we can start off hearing a little bit about how Mind's Eye came to be. So Evan.
Sure. So Tim Hawkey, my boss, had the idea for Mind's Eye. And what it is every year, it typically revolves around the award season and everything like that. But the MNDA had one for I Will Always Be Me. And that prompted, and what he does is he loves to reach out. He uses LinkedIn a lot and everything like that. But he pitched the idea of Mind's Eye to the MNDA right after that award. And from there, we set up a think tank almost within Area 23 to explore AI artwork and really how we bring this idea of making AI accessible to life. And from there, I partnered with Andy Gerchek, and we ended up reaching out to Smartbox, partnering with them, and then building the entire app on their platform because we knew we had to go where the users were. We didn't want to reinvent the wheel like that. We wanted to take something that they already have in their lives and then just make it better. And so from there, like we couldn't have done it without Smartbox because it's their platform. It's, you know, what they use. And that was just it all came together. We all played our part, and it was just a really beautiful thing to all come together all at once. And we ended up, the MNDA, the MND Association, put us in contact with the lovely people that are featured in our video. And that was what we wanted to, like, we built an app, but we were all able-bodied people thinking this through. We knew that we had to get it into the hands of the user, you know, and that was the only way it was going to sink or swim, you know. And so we quickly tried to get as much testing as we possibly could, real-time feedback. And, you know, like, it was just, honestly, it's some of the most proud work I've ever done. And the fact that it's out there in the world for people to use. And also, we want to make sure that it's free for the community to use as always. So I couldn't be happier about it. But that's kind of where we are today. We launched last month, and we've been looking at the figures now. People are engaging with it, and it's just really exciting. What I got into this for was because of the AI artwork, you know, and I was excited about it. It shows me things that would take me a really long time to try to sketch, work, and piece together, but it just puts it together instantly. And so that's what brought me to this project. But what it ended up being was when we started filming the case study video and everything like that, it was a human connection story. This was something right now with AI, everybody's talking about how it's going to remove humans from everything. And this was enhancing the human experience and allowing people to connect on a level that you know, that they were missing right now. And that was something so beautiful. And another thing that drew me to it was just something real. I wanted something real. And the woman featured on screen right now, Louise, we had come across her, or we had heard about her because she had lost her ability to speak, and she just missed being sarcastic with her husband. And that was something that was just so real, that makes us human. And that was something that really drew me to the project and was just so happy to bring to life.
Yeah, and it can be difficult to convey that personality and sarcasm sometimes if you're just using text. Sometimes,
yeah.
Well,
images.
also the text to speech, it's a very monotone voice. Obviously, I Will Always Be Me, like, tried to take it to the next level, but there are limitations on that, you know. And it's that idea that an image is worth 1,000 words, you know, and to be able to allow people to express how they're feeling in that moment quickly, it just became something beautiful. So the AI artwork just kind of went to the back a little bit for me because it was about this connection.
Yeah, absolutely. We were talking about how everyone is so used to now, it's so normal really to communicate using imagery rather than words, or a bit of a combination of both, but how common it is to send a photo over WhatsApp. And yeah, I quite often will send a photo and I don't even necessarily put any words with it. It will just be, this is where I am, this is what I'm doing, and I'm just sending that photo, or
GIFs,
to just use an emoji or a GIF, and
or GIFs, and however you pronounce it.
Yeah, and how much you can communicate using that without actually saying anything. And
and memes as well. Like it says everything without a word, you know. And I think this really does draw from a lot of that, which is great, you know. And I
was just thinking that even my 85-year-old mum, who, you know, she said she wanted to get in touch with the grandkids, so we got her a smartphone and we said, oh, by the way, these are emojis. And like 10 seconds later, every WhatsApp message I ever get now is like 20 emojis long. And it's because it just works. It works for her, it works for everybody else. And actually, so do these. This is just another way. And actually, you know, Evan said something very important there about something called a think tank. And actually, what we've done at the M&D Association, and I think every organisation should do this, is that we invite people who are not who we normally talk to, who are creators from another world. I mean, Evan's based in, I think you're based in New York or around there, and you know, it's just like these are conversations we've never had before. And so, as part of the think tank, we have conversations we've never had before. And as part of that, you know, the amazing guys at Area 23 said, "How about this?" And I was just thinking, yeah, well, how about it? And actually, what we're talking about here is AI, that thing that no one understands. I don't really understand it. But what I do know about AI is it's not for everyone, because it's not built to be inclusive so far. It's not built to be accessible. What we did is we took something that's already available to the techies, the smart people, generated art, just type anything you like and it'll generate something. And we brought it with the help of people living with M&D, with the help of Area 25, with the help of Smartbox and the folks at the M&D Association. We brought it to people living with M&D and other people that have different access needs. It's their right to benefit from AI just as much as everyone else, but it's just not happening. And so everything is really important about this project, but what I think is it's a beacon to show just what is possible if we include everybody. There's this thing about co-design and co-development. We did it, and it's not impossible. And we brought in the experts from different areas like Smartbox. And the sum is, you're going to see it soon. And the sum is that people can do whatever the hell they want with AI generated art. Full stop. And so, you know, we're in a position, just one side issue. A couple of weeks ago, I tried to attend a 2-day conference, a TEDx conference it's called, on AI. 2 whole days with the great and the good talking about AI, what it's going to do for the world. Guess how many times I heard anybody talk about inclusion or accessibility? Guess how many?
You'd like to think a few, at least?
Not one spoke about it. Not one. So we have, I think, as speech language therapists, Area 23, us in the think tank, all of us listening, we have huge opportunity here to actually represent the people that we work with. This fantastic technology. It's not going to take our jobs, but it might really help our clients. And I think it is already. I shall hand over to you.
Yeah, we've just had a question come in from someone, so we'll come back to that question. But yeah, as Trevor has just said, we're going to do a demo. Should we go into the demo now? So let me bring up grid 3. It's a live demo. You always love live demos. You never quite know what's going to happen. And we are going to open this up to you as well. So we'll be taking suggestions so we can hopefully create some really unique art. So let me share grid. Hopefully everyone can see that. So this is what you see when you will first open the grid set, and I'll cover at the end of this webinar how you can actually get hold of the grid set. But this is what you'll first see. So I'm logged in at the moment. I've created a user, which is really, really quick and easy to do. If you haven't already got a user, you click create account, choose a username, choose a password, and click go, and you're in. That's it. Really easy. So you can see a few examples of some art that I was creating earlier on. And we're going to have a look at how you can create. So what we always try and do at Smartbox is try and make our content as intuitive as possible, so people aren't having to try and work out what it is you need to do, and we're not kind of giving big instruction booklets. So hopefully this grid set is quite intuitive. So we've got this button up here called Create. So I'm going to click there, and there's actually a little kind of 3-step instructions here. So type a description of the picture that you want to create. So I am going to go with, and you can see as I'm using the keyboard, I've got word prediction built in. So for anyone where word prediction is helpful, you can just select that to speed up your input. I am going to choose a cat on a skateboard and see what happens. And for anyone who's listening, please do start to put in your suggestions, and we'll pick a few favorites after this to have a look. So then the next instruction says then select vibes for 1-step magic, or custom for more options. So we'll start off with vibes, and when we're ready, we will choose imagine to create our artwork. So when I go to vibes, I get all of these different options, and you can see from the little thumbnail a kind of preview of the style of image I will get if I choose one of those. Richard, Evan, which one would you like? Cat on a skateboard, which vibe?
Classical oil painting.
Classical oil painting myself. Okay, let's see. So you can see the AI engine doing its thing there. And it will take a few moments, have a little think, and come up with an image. Well, there you go. A classic oil painting of a cat on a skateboard. It looks more like a hoverboard. I haven't got any wheels, but futuristic.
And you can always hit reimagine as well. So we can just keep it going.
Exactly. So if I'm not happy with that image, not quite what I wanted, I can click reimagine, and the AI engine will just have another go. I do like the classic oil painting. It's giving me an interesting look. So there we go, cat on a skateboard. If I wanted to go back, and maybe I don't like the classic oil painting, I can go back and click edit. And actually, you see here, you can see the prompt that has been put into the AI engine to come up with that image. And that means that you can edit any element of that. So you can really start to tweak it. Or if you just want to change the vibe entirely, I can click undo. It will take everything out. Click undo again. Just lost the end there, put that back in. And I can choose a different vibe and see what I get. So maybe let's choose cute and see how that looks different. Oh, there we go. So you can see a very different image has been created there. Okay. So I'm going to take suggestions from the audience now and show you a bit more about all of the different options that you have. So far, we've got really anxious clown face. I was a bit nervous doing a webinar on Halloween, thinking that people might have put lots of quite scary images into the community gallery, but I had a little look there earlier, and there is a zombie in there, but just to warn you. A clown carrying a jack-o'-lantern at the beach, anime style. Okay, so
look at this. Hang on, there's a frog wearing sunglasses dancing.
Oh, okay, that appeals to me. I'm just worried that the clowns are going to be scary. Bunny dressed up as a witch. Cute.
Gosh, Michelle, okay. That is so creative.
Let's try that and see what happens. I'm going to.
I love these live ones because I've got no idea how it's going to go.
And I'm going to go cute vibe. It's interesting. It's taken the rabbit element. We've got the fur of a rabbit, and then the witch's hat. I'm assuming some kind of sidekick, and the ears of a rabbit. I might click reimagine and see what comes up. See what comes next. I'm happy with that. I like that option. So let's now go through the custom options that you have. I'm going to choose one of these other examples. I like the frog wearing sunglasses. I'm quite interested to see how that turns out. So let's close that one. And all the images that I'm creating are going into my personal, because I'm logged in, they're all going to be saved into my personal gallery. So I can go back and look at any of those images if I want to, and I can then also share them to the public community gallery, which I'll show you in a second. So let's have a look and see what we can do with a frog wearing sunglasses. I'm going to go to custom. So that gives me loads more options. The first option you get is the medium that you want to choose. And you can see, I think on first glance, they can all look a bit similar, but if you look closely, you'll see the differences, particularly when you look at something like the origami style or mosaic. So have a look through those, and you don't have to choose every different one of these options. You can skip one, you can just go straight to say artists and choose to create an image in the style of a particular artist. You've got different style images, different particular details, lighting, absolutely loads and loads of options. You can get as complicated as you like. And then there's also this option here at the end, custom, which allows you to put in your own prompts. And I think it'd be useful if we come back to Julie's question in a moment. That might be useful there. But let's just choose an artist. Anyone? Someone said has to be Tim Burton. Okay, it does for Halloween, doesn't it? So let's see. Frog wearing sunglasses by Tim Burton. I'll click imagine and see what we come up with. That is a frog wearing sunglasses. I'm going to reimagine and see a couple of options for that. I love it. There's a few other suggestions.
Yeah, very bright colors for Tim Burton.
Very vibrant, yeah. That's a very interesting image there. So if I want to now, I can go back and click edit. I can go back into custom. I can maybe add another style into that and see what happens, or choose one of these styles. Any thoughts on? I'm wanting to take feedback and not just.
I thought that was a lovely question there from Lisa, actually. Can you give specific questions when editing, such as like, can I have a smaller frog, please? I'm not sure you can.
The more specific, so a lot of this becomes like prompt structure, which is why we included the vibes in the set. Like when you go to the gallery and everything like that, you'll be able to read out the full prompt. Mm-hmm. And this is something that I wanted to include in the app so that people can learn how things are structured like that, so that it's not a mystery as to how this stuff kind of comes out. So if you go back into it, what you'll see is that what's at the beginning of a prompt is always more important than what comes after. Like typically it's the subject first, and whatever comes, like whatever you put that first word as, it typically leans on that one. And then the rest of it tends to be details like award-winning photography, all that stuff. But the more specific you get, it only helps, really. So if you wanted to do frog wearing square glasses, it will. Like that's kind of, you just have to start to get more and more detailed about stuff.
Okay, so perhaps it's useful to just show the tools then. So if I want to say I'm an eye gaze user or touch user or alternative access, I can use tools to move the cursor around in that window. So either I can go right back to the beginning of the sentence, so maybe I want a small frog wearing square sunglasses, or let's add that in. Square sunglasses. So I can move the cursor around and jump back to the keyboard and jump here as much as I need to. And then let's shall we add another option? I'm going to add some lighting. Let's add some dramatic lighting and see what happens.
So to answer the question about unique, each image you create is unique. Each image that is created, it uses a different seed. So what that means is like it draws from different things each time you use it. So if you were to hit render or re-edit or reimagine 5 times, you would not see the same image once. It's a different one each time.
Yeah, so perhaps it's useful to look at the community gallery, as you were saying, Evan. You can see the prompts that other people have used. I actually tried that earlier on, copied a prompt that someone else had put, and then I came up with a completely different image to the one that they had come up with. So yeah, that's really was interesting. So if I go to the menu, you can see the last few images that I've created there. If I go to gallery, I can see more of my images, and I can scroll down through them, so you can see the ones that we've created so far. And you can see underneath the image it says only you can see this image. So that means I haven't shared it to the gallery yet. But if I wanted to, I can click on this make public or private button. Once I select that, it will tell me this image is on the community gallery. And if I change my mind and actually want to take it off, I can just by clicking it again. So we'll see in a minute that image will appear in the community gallery. But as I'm clicking through these, you can see the whole of the prompt that's been put in to create that image. Perhaps I should share that one. I was quite pleased with that one. So pop back up. And then we'll have a couple of the images from here in the community gallery. So if I now go back to menu and go to community gallery, we'll see the images that I've just added and also some images that other people have been sharing. So you can actually be really simple with your prompts and get a really nice image, or you can have quite a lot of, oh yes, this was a zombie I was talking about. I did give a zombie warning at the beginning of this webinar, quite freaky. Let's have a look at a tiny, lovely hedgehog playing cricket. I'd much prefer to look at that than a zombie. Just going to have a quick look at the questions that have been coming in. I've seen
it looks great. I mean, when we built this, we wanted to keep in mind that some people have bad days. We didn't want to just put in guardrails so that they're just creating beautiful little hedgehogs all the time. But we want you to be able to do that if that's where you're at. But we wanted people to be able to express themselves, the good, the bad, and the ugly. That there isn't censorship on this. So you can take it to zombies or you could take it to cute little hedgehogs, and it depends on how you're feeling.
Yeah, so we've seen a question asking about symbol users. So we don't have currently have a symbol version of this, but exactly like someone has suggested that you could copy and paste from your symbol vocabulary. So if you were using Supercore, you could write what you wanted to put into here, copy it, use a change grid set commands. If you add that in, add mind's eye in here and paste it in, and that would work. Yeah.
I think this is a very important point about sharing emotions. I did a piece in Bulletin, and I kind of talked about this as well, that for people living with MND, you know, the client group that I work with, that actually there are plenty of times when actually people don't feel great. And actually, you know, one of the examples I did was for this man that is in a care home, and he's, you know, often put in front of the TV and left there. And I asked him how he was feeling when I went to see him, and he said, actually, I feel, you know, he was beyond bored, beyond, and actually quite low mood. And what he put in Mind's Eye ended up being a big barcode. It was just a super big barcode, and it just explained just how he was feeling. And you know, it just like, so this, I suppose what we could talk about is, you know, one benefit we had from including so many people with MND as part of this process was that we came up with uses for this tool that we never really thought about. And you know, the first is to have fun and just to do whatever you want, and just like, and why not? Just be creative, be yourself, see what happens next. The other was to, you know, kind of share feelings, you know, that not only good, but kind of less so, but also just say hello and just be, you know, use the emoji approach with Mind's Eye just to share, you know, kind of. And actually, one person built rapport with his carers. It was just like he would do an image of them because she loved flowers, so he put flowers in her hair in the emoji in the Mind's Eye image. Another person uses it for kind of personal reflection. So she uses it to be creative, but to think further about how she is. And I'd never really thought about that as well, that either. And it just feels there were just lots of. The final one that I mean, there are lots more, but the final one to mention was that people use it to demonstrate competence, to just show that they're still them. And this is just another way to demonstrate competence. I mean, for particularly people who are unfamiliar, you know, people have all sorts of perceptions about people who have difficulty accessing or difficulty speaking. All of those, we know them. They are everywhere. And here's just one more way to demonstrate that I am me. I am me. And so, you know, I think we're at the very beginning of something that is quite special. And I'm just really interested that, you know, for the people that work with clients on this call, I'd be really interested to see what you and your clients think, because, you know, with this, there is nothing else, as far as that is inclusive like this. And we need to, I just really feel we need to prove a point here, one way or another, to show what we're talking about. We're not just talking inclusivity, we're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, it's just about connection, isn't it? And however you can connect with people, whether it's through words or imagery, just connecting and sharing your personality.
So
we had a question right back at the beginning. I didn't want to lose it because it was a good question, about how do the artists get self-portrait like art? So some of the really nice images we saw at the beginning were, you know, that lady who'd created images that looked like caricatures of herself. Can you give us a bit more
I did want to circle back to that one. So what I would suggest is you play around with, you're like, one, knowing who you are and what you're what you look like and everything like that, and then just getting very specific about it. And I would just keep tweaking it, you know. So and what it does is, a lot of the early models were based on just Caucasian males. That's it. So if you said doctor, it would have given you a Caucasian male doctor, like in his 60s and stuff like that. But now they're starting to train the models on more multicultural, different stuff, but it helps to be specific about stuff. So if I was to do, like, try to get my likeness, Caucasian male, 30s, beard, brown hair, all that stuff, like all of these details kind of go into it. So once you get it to a good place, what you can do is save that prompt under custom, and then you'll always have it as like a button that you can go back to. So once you get it to a good, like it'll take some time of back and forth playing with it. But once you get it to a good place, just add it to your custom keyboard, and then you'll be able to type in sad and then go to that button, or happy, and go to that button. And you should start to see some consistent results.
Thanks. We had another question, which was, which AI agent does the software use?
It's built on Stable Diffusion's open API model. So that's what we've been using. And I think they just launched their XL version. I mean, that's the thing, is like this area and space is growing daily and improving daily. And it's like, to see where the artwork is now compared to just a year ago is insane. Like, it's night and day. And so the more we use it, the better it gets. And it's only growing from here. So we're really excited about where the space is going and what it could potentially mean for Mind's Eye. And the level and the quality can only get better from here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We've had another couple of questions about
restrictions
and censorship, age-appropriate content.
As far as, we have not placed any restrictions on this. There are some, it's called like back-end prompting, and a lot of these companies do it. So like Midjourney, Stable Diffusion, and stuff like that. If you were to just go in and type cat, they add so many things on the back end to make that the most beautiful cat you've ever seen. And that's something similar to the way we built our app. Is if you just want to go in and type one word and then hit render, it'll give you a beautiful image of that word. Or if you want to go and craft a very detailed and specific prompt, you can do it. There is minimal engagement, and there's also deep diving into the app.
Mm-hmm.
But we also, it's really like, we didn't want to tell people how to feel, and that was like the biggest thing, is that whatever your truth is, whatever you're feeling in this moment, you should be able to express yourself, and that's, what we wanted for people.
I thought there was a lovely question actually that's just popped through, that can we start, my client's an artist herself, can she use what she's already got and add to it? And I've come across that question before, and I haven't figured out a way where that's possible, but perhaps.
So it gets into a little bit more detailed stuff. So it's like, in other platforms, what they have are, you're able to upload images, and then you can riff off of that image. Right now, we have limitations with the app, so we can't upload an image there and then riff off of that. But it's obviously, it's a feature we would love to crack, and something we would love to add. The other thing, what I know personally that artists have done, are, what you can do is, essentially, this is a model, and you can train models yourself. So you could take all of your artwork, train an AI model on it, and then start to create new work based off that. It's not currently available in Mind's Eye, but it is very possible through AI artwork.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. That is beautiful. And actually, Rachel, sorry, I'm just there's so many great questions. Rachel, thank you for yours. Can it be edited to make cell sizes bigger, adding prompts? And actually, one thing that I know we can do is that we can copy and paste and put them in documents, or put them on WhatsApp or whatever. That's right, is it?
So the question about editing to make change cell sizes, yeah, absolutely. So it's based in grid. So if I want to go into edit mode and say I need to make my keyboard make the rows larger. If I want to make the keyboard cells bigger, then I can do that. Or if I wanted to move the keyboard layout around, maybe make it ABC instead of QWERTY, or all those kind of things you can do. You're not going to break the grid set just by changing cell sizes. You can absolutely do that to make it more accessible. And then the other question about, sorry, Richard, was it about sharing?
Yeah, just about kind of, sharing to other media, social network, that kind of stuff.
So right now, we haven't set up the share feature, and it was something, like we definitely it was important to us to include, because it's about you creating this artwork, but then also being able to share it with the ones that you love or you don't care for. It doesn't matter. It's just about putting it out into the world. So if you want to share something, you do have to make it part of the community gallery. That's one stipulation. Just because if you don't want it to be seen, we want to make sure that you only share what you want to. So anything that you create is only accessible on your account until you add it to the community gallery. Once you do that, you should be able to share it. And what it is it's essentially a link right now that will drive you to the image itself for you to download. But obviously, we're working on making it as streamlined and as accessible as possible. But it's definitely a feature that we love and we're really excited about.
So I've just shown you there, going into your gallery and finding the image, making sure it's shared to the community gallery, which it will tell you underneath this image is on the community gallery. If it's not, you can click make public and share it that way. And then there's a little share button. Once you click on that, it will get this little prompt, as I say, trying to keep things intuitive so that it tells you what's going to happen, or you can predict what's going to happen. A link to your picture will be copied to the clipboard, and you'll be taken to Grid Explorer. And then you can go into any of our other accessible apps to send it as an email, to use it in WhatsApp, or however you want to share it as a link.
Okay.
I was actually experimenting as well with my colleague that you can do print screen as well if you wanted to just take a kind of grab of it. That does work.
I think the nice thing is that this is, I mean, I'm just trying not to be a second-hand car salesman about this, but I just think it's really nice that we have an additional modality here that people can use. And there was this beautiful, comment in the chat about a picture worth 1,000 words. And actually, yes. And yes, in a way that actually can be very personal, or indeed great fun, or indeed anything that people want it to be. And so this is, but this is a new world. And it's a new world for a reason, because no one has let our clients into it until now. And so, what's going to happen next? We don't know, which is really exciting, because Daisy just created stuff on the fly in front of nearly 100 people because
I did.
Because she can.
With the help from the audience and the fantastic suggestions.
Yeah.
Someone was just asking about what the nudge button does. So that is if you're, this is helpful when you've got a particularly long prompt. So if you, there aren't any examples at the moment, I've got quite a large monitor, but as you're scrolling through to go between images, you can click next, which jumps to the next image. But if there was a really long prompt and you couldn't quite see the image, you can just nudge it. So it will just scroll down a little bit rather than jumping to the next image. It stays on the currently selected image, but just moves it a little bit. I love that hedgehog. I don't know who created it, but they're really, really nice.
The other great thing is with the community gallery, what we wanted to do was it really becomes about prompt structure and everything like that. You can take down something that you saw on the community gallery, you can hit edit, it will take you to create, and then you can riff off of it. You can change it, or you can try to recreate it.
So that clicking on the edit button has taken that prompt. And then one of the questions earlier on was about whether you would ever generate exactly the same image. So let's try it now.
Yeah.
Let's do a live demo to see what happens. We saw the cute little hedgehog. I copied that prompt, and it's I would say slightly less cute hedgehog. He's looking quite intense. He was playing cricket, so I think we've got a hedgehog with a real competitive spirit here. Got the cricket ball. He's going for it. But I've come up with a different image to the one that was in the gallery. And if I wanted to, I can go back in and edit. When I go into the tools, that gives me actually a much bigger text window, so you can see more of the prompt. As I mentioned earlier, you can move your cursor around if you want to add in or take out parts of that prompt, you can.
And so if a person has grid on Grid 3 or Grid for iPad, then this is just another grid set, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I should probably cover that. Thank you. I will let people know how they can get hold of this. So if you've already got Grid 3, I'm going to go back into Grid Explorer. You'll have all of your grid sets. If you want to add Mind's Eye into Grid, it's available for iPad as well. So I'm showing you Grid 3, but it is also available on Grid for iPad. So I select the menu bar, click on Add Grid Sets, which brings up this menu, and I go into Accessible App. And we have lots of accessible apps in Grid, so you can see from this list. Scroll down, and our newest apps are at the bottom of that list. So we've got Mind's Eye here for Grid 3, or as I mentioned, it's available in Grid for iPad. So just click on that. You get a nice description telling you a bit more about the grid set, and click on Add. And it's going to come up with a little number 2 because I've already got the grid set in my Grid Explorer, but then I can click Open. And that's what your start screen looks like. So that is how to get hold of the grid set. If you're watching this webinar and you actually don't have Grid 3 or Grid for iPad, then you can go to our website and you can download a free trial, 60-day free trial of Grid 3, or Grid for iPad, you can get a free 30-day trial if you start a subscription and then just cancel it. So you can try this out if you haven't already. Please do, and share the images that you create, because it's fascinating to see the different images that people come up with.
Yeah, and I just put in the chat there's an FAQ document, and so I'll just pop that in again.
Yeah,
so
great.
Just in case. And my wonderful colleague Rachel, who is on the call as well, if there's anything for the MND community, then we have a dedicated email address for any questions. I'm just popping that. Oh, Rachel, I've done a good job. Who knows, for once. So yeah, and so effectively it's been built. It works direct access, head mouse, switch, eye gaze.
Yep.
Any combination that works for Grid 3 will work with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
and there is no cost for us. A really great question. I think Evan mentioned right at the beginning about wanting to bring this to people without any cost. So it's a free accessible app that you can download. You just need to have either Grid 3 or Grid for iPad, but there's no cost to Mind's Eye. And no cost, you can generate as many images as you like. And yeah, that's been made available.
Yeah.
Any other questions from anyone?
I love the
Thank
questions.
you so much, everyone, for engaging. It's brilliant to have lots of so many questions and so many suggestions. We haven't done all of the suggestions that came in, but please do. If your suggestion wasn't demoed, then give it a go and share it in the community. Oh, great.
I just love the octopus one.
Oh, I missed that. There were so many questions coming in. I didn't see the one about an octopus.
What the plural of octopus was. So now that I found out, it's a pair of octopi having an underwater candlelit dinner on the Great Barrier Reef. I mean, really.
Of course.
How lovely.
And someone has just suggested, going off on a tangent, has anyone thought about doing something similar for music? Wow.
What a great idea. Come to the think tank.
Right. We can talk
about
let's
that.
talk this time next year. We'll see.
Great idea.
So I think we have covered this already, I think, but there's some more example images there. But yeah, we talked about what this means for people living with MND.
Yeah, and this is Mike, who is the best bloke you'll ever meet. He uses eye gaze. He lives with MND, and he just loves having a laugh with his carers about it, and just he's even though his speech has changed, he still fills the room with light, and this is Mind's Eye helping him do that. And I can say
Yeah.
that because he gave me permission to say that.
Someone is going to render the octopi on the Great Barrier Reef and share it. So I look forward. I will be checking back in a few days to see. So yeah, you can try that in Grid. And if anyone has any other feedback, you can get in touch with us through our website, or Richard has shared other ways you can get in contact with him. And yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Oh, lots of questions.
There's a lovely question. Sorry, technical one. What resolution are the images? Any views on that one?
So a lot of this stuff is created very quickly, and they tend to be more lower res PNGs that come out of it. Right now, I mean, that's how it's produced so quickly and everything like that. It looks great on most mobile devices, web stuff, and everything like that, but it's not particularly great for printing or anything like that. But I have used, what you would need to do is you take the image that you have, and then there's a lot of upscaling programs. I think Adobe offers one. So you just have to uppixel it, and then it becomes printable. You know, obviously, I haven't attempted to do a billboard off of AI artwork yet, but it is all very possible. And this is also something that, I mean, like, I'd love to end it with this, is create as much artwork as you can. What I would love to do is have a gallery show of just AI generated artwork from Mind's Eye. That's my secret end goal here. And that would be amazing. So it's fantastic to just see people where they take it, wherever they choose to go with it. You know, it's open-ended, you know.
Over the Tate Modern, Evan.
Yes.
Oh, I mean, that would be fantastic, wouldn't it?
Yes. If anyone on this call knows anybody who works at the Tate Modern, let us know, you know, because it would be an amazing show.
Yeah, be fantastic. Someone has just asked, is this open up? It's not just in the UK. Yeah, anyone anywhere in the world who has Grid can access this Mind's Eye.
Right now, what we've done a bit of like a soft launch within the UK right now, so a lot of it is kind of there. You might experience slightly different user experience outside of the UK right now, but what we're trying to do is just kind of take a look at how much people are using it, and then just so that we can make sure that this stays free for everyone always.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, in truth, the focus was really for people living with MND in England, Wales, and Northern Ireland. But the way that it's been designed, and the generosity of Area 23, you know, amongst others,
we've put it,
as well.
We've got funds right now to keep us going, and we're really excited about, you know, the analytics that we're seeing, and this, you know, it has staying power, which we're really excited about.
But I want to see that billboard, Evan. I want to see the billboard.
I do. I want to see it as well.
In Times Square.
Yes. The other real quick thing, you cannot, nothing as of right now, the lawyers haven't gotten involved officially yet in AI artwork, but you cannot copyright anything. So that's the one thing, is like, you technically, no one really owns these things. You know, you made it and you can do what you want with it, no matter what. It's free to use, but you can't technically copyright it right now. That could change, or it won't. We'll see.
Cool.
But thank you so much for joining us today. This has been amazing. And totally send all the questions. We're here.
Yeah, do. And thank you so much as well for bringing this opportunity to us at Smartbox, and letting us be the platform for this. It's just been fantastic to be involved.
Great people working together.
Thank you. And we've had a few questions about whether this will be available afterwards. Yep. So anyone who's on here will get a recording link sent, and anyone who signed up for the webinar, and it will be hosted on our website. So yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.